media arriving. Let's not leave.
Okay. I'd like now, therefore, to call up Dame Janet Suzman.
I am a no to Tesco. I will try and explain why. Tesco, I propose, is in a perfect position now that it's in a funny state to redraw its parameters and have a little reconsideration. We did this whole Sainsbury's thing in Southend Village. Now the same kind of story, which troubles us all, is about to happen here. And I think we should go to the root of the matter, which is our Camden Council working for us and getting to know what it is the people want. Thank you very much.
We have 2,800. There are 2,800 people that do not want that shop. So it is really difficult for me as a councillor to believe that you are here to improve our community, because the community is sending a clear message. We have a Tesco's on England's Lane, we have one in East Street, we don't need a third one. You are not the best business to have around. We have more schools here per capita than anywhere else on the planet. So by definition, your big giant HGV trucks, to deliver to that shop, you will have to park illegally. You are known to do that a lot. This here is the proposed site. Disabled parking bay, resident parking bay, disabled parking bay. There's nowhere for you to park.
I'm furious. And there are many, many people who aren't here this evening who have absolutely no taste for having a Tesco's on that corner. I think this whole situation is entirely undemocratic. It's entirely against social responsibility in the community. I think it's arrogant, and I think it's bordering on contemptuous. People are sick and tired of the monopolistic behaviour of entities such as Tesco's.
We've had discussions with Tesco's over the past year. We've spoken to their managers and head office, and in May they promised us, don't worry, we'll start deliveries between 10 and 4, so it won't cause any problems. We'll trial it. They did it for 1 week. Thereafter, back again, normal case, parking there during rush hour. Make no mistake, this will happen in Belsize, and believe me, any community activity that they offer or interaction just goes over their head.
Tesco's constantly parking big lorries on double yellow lines. I have now done a lot of work with Camden Council. I understand actually that they're entitled to park on double yellow lines when they are loading at certain times, but actually when we all get smashed with parking tickets if we even sneeze on a double yellow line around here, I think you can understand why it's quite concerning that Camden look like they are making allowances for a multinational company. If your model is going to be creating mini stores in beautiful villages, then I would suggest you need mini trucks.
I live in Belsize Grove. 4 minutes walk from a Tesco. Why do we need another Tesco? We have some wonderful shops. We have a great little independent food and wine store, 3 doors from where Tesco are proposing to come in. We have a great greengrocers. They've lost them in Hampstead since Tesco came. We will lose. We'll lose all that wonderful variety we've got. We'll lose the community feeling that we've got, and we'll just have another faceless, strip-lit, ugly store, which we don't need.
Just look at the congestion that's caused by these trucks. It really is chaotic, and which can result in the vehicles being out there for an average of 2 hours.
We need to have an honest, open conversation about things. So that's what I was hoping to do tonight. The smaller stores is definitely the way that people are shopping now. And I did walk to the Tesco Expresses in the nearby area. And I know from talking internally that the store is set to be very popular with customers. And would trade very well and would be a good store for the business and for the community. Deliveries is clearly something that's come up very strongly. Got a transport solution that needs to be identified. Should we move forward with that site? And Nathan can talk about that in more detail. But that is another process that would need to happen. So the liquor licensing conversation is, the hearing's happening on February the 12th at 7 p.m. But I will be available and the team to take questions as they arise.
We now have Andrew Thornton of Thornton Budgeons.
We have tills with people rather than machines that say unexpected object in bagging area and stuff like that, which has become part of our kind of currency now. So we are in the community. The broader issue in terms of the community, the parade, we have 3 healthy independent retailers there. There's no doubt that at least one of them will go out of business if Tesco opens. That's what happened in Hampstead. All the independents in Hampstead went out of business. And then you've only got Tesco. I fundamentally believe it's time that businesses start to behave better and start to care about society and stop behaving the way businesses have. What I'm hearing in the community when this came out, and all the things we've said so far, is that Tesco is not a business that cares actually about anything other than making money. And yes, your prices may be cheaper, but according to Panorama last night, that's because you bully suppliers. And that's something that we and the other independent retailers do not do. Everybody who's talked to me has been not in favour of it, on the simple basis that if you want to buy cheap products in Tesco, it's 4 minutes walk. And there's another one 7 minutes up the road in Hampstead.
Thank you. My company's been instructed to work with Camden on deliveries to any stores that they have problems with at the moment.
HGVs, they're designed for motorways, not for little roads. They're not designed for cities.
Can we come to a question, please?
Oh, okay. The question is, what are you going to do about it?
I'll be happy to talk to you directly after this if you like. And so I've spoken to Roy at Camden today to arrange a meeting hopefully for next week on site here and to look at some other sites locally and try and overcome some of the issues and change how things are working.
It's really about Tesco's being a bad neighbour, blocking traffic, providing a poor service, a lack of respect for local people and other businesses. And I would very much like to hear you talk about that.
It may be that Tesco can't answer all the questions that we're putting today because they don't have all the answers.
If there are some specific complaints and questions that you'll have around that, then I'd be happy to sort of help work on address those. But that's
Don't you want to reassure us in a constructive way? Sorry.
The question on specifically where would you park the lorry? Well, I obviously don't know what questions are going to be raised today, but about specific delivery issues, I do communications for Tesco. If there are specific questions about individual issues, yes.
It's in every shop. It's in every shop.
So don't do it.
My point is it's complicated.
It's not complicated.
It is complicated.
You don't have the trucks, you can't deliver, so don't do it.
In many places, one car can only get by, not even two. Have you walked the area? Do you know it? If you do know it, you'd know that those big trucks could not get around our location.
How much time do we have as a community to convince Tesco to cancel this bad idea and invest in putting Tesco's into the places that actually want you? And we know there are quite a few because it was on the news recently of communities up in Scotland and in Merseyside, rural areas that were looking forward to having a Tesco's because they have nothing else. You've pulled the plug on them because it didn't suit your business plan. You're putting a Tesco's into this community that does not want it because you want to make profit.
Roberta, the question is, what's your plan on timing?
Yeah.
And are you going to sort the transport before you open?
Yeah. That is a question I can't answer. The timing of it will be, first we need to look at the alcohol licensing issue, the question of getting an alcohol permit, and then the transport. So there will not, of course, be a store open until we find a transport solution for a store. So we would not move forward until that, plus minor works, which would need to happen. Again, sort of looking at signage and things like that, that would actually then have to have an application put in. So those steps would have to happen before a store opens. So
what we have to do is ask for what is doable, and that is to properly consider the transport issue, because that's the only thing that we could perhaps get some movement on.
I am absolutely passionate about independent shops, because I think they are the lifeblood of a community. They are vibrant, they are exciting, they are unique, and they should be maintained at all costs.
Hello, I am Reem and I live on Belsize Avenue. My appeal to you is, would you do the right thing and actually just withdraw?
They've now overexpanded, their profits are dropping, and I think the danger is if your profits drop too much, your share price drops, you might be in danger of a takeover. So perhaps the message to the chief executive of Tesco's is beat the retreat. I've had about 2 emails in favour to about 20 to 30 against. Beat the retreat, go back to your roots, concentrate on your core activities.
And is there anyone in this room who actually wants a Tesco's here?
Nobody.
I think everything about your company stinks and I absolutely hate it. We don't want you in this area, we don't need you and we don't want you. And I want to know how we can get rid of you.
We are very happy to talk to anybody who's got any comments. And I would like to thank them very much for taking their time and for coming, because I know it's not been easy for them.
Who wants Tesco's?
Who wants Tesco's in the meeting?
Nobody.
Okay. Thank you all very much indeed for coming.